Hey YouTube, what the heck is up? I am back, sorta. We'll see. I'm still into motorcycles. I just been on a hiatus. I really haven't been riding in about a year. I just do my daily commuting, and that's about it. But today I have a new dirt bike to show you, and some of you are going to be sad, some of you are going to be happy, some of you are probably in the middle like me. And but yeah, that's what we're doing these days. We're still doing dirt bikes, and still liking them. So what I got here is my new 890 Adventure R from KTM. Yeah, as you didn't figure that out. We're gonna give you a little first impression video here. So give you the quick little walk around this. Imagine if you guys are watching this, some of you know all about the 890. Some of you probably don't know much about it at all. The 890 is basically a 900cc parallel twin. It is an adventure bike. And so I am coming off of the 690, which I have many videos. I don't know, look around, maybe some will pop up in here somewhere, but I got lots of videos on the 690. And I've had some changes in my life. Yeah, I'm back working in the motorcycle industry. Figured it was time to freshen up, and I was going to freshen up my 690 just because I can. And I was taking the girlfriend for some rides and kind of going on some longer trips and carrying more gear and stuff, and it's really not that comfortable on the 690 to do more than about 150 miles a day, which is not really super comfortable on many things to do 150 plus miles a day, but especially when you're carrying gear and stuff. And we get a lot of wind where I live. That was one of the reasons. A lot more comfortable for the lady friend to be back up on here, and I've got a box thing so her back sits up against it. The other thing is as you guys know, I use my bigger bike as my tow vehicle for my littler bikes, and so the 890 has a lot more horsepower. A lot more horsepower. 93 rear wheel horsepower. I think they claim 105 at the counter shaft, and I may or may not have done a few things to this motorcycle to make it have a little bit more power than that. But this is a first impressions video, so I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff that I've done, but I can still hook my trailer to this because this is a double-sided swing arm, and so my trailer mechanism hooks into the axle, and anyway, that's how it connects, and so I can pull my other bikes behind. And I'll tell you right now, this thing pulling my trailer, it is not even going to notice that it's there. Not that the 690 had a hard time, but when you're going over the mountain pass and you're up at 7,000 feet or whatever, and you're going into the wind at 60 miles an hour, it's a little bit more for the 690 than it's going to be for this thing. Not going to do a comparison video really yet because I just want to go over this and keep it somewhat short and in my first impressions. My first impressions are, you get on it and it feels kind of big and heavy and stuff. I mean, it feels sort of like a street bike, and basically it actually feels a lot like a sport touring motorcycle. It's big, it's kind of heavy. It's not really that heavy. It's like 440 pounds or something, but it's got a big old fuel tank in it, right? I think it's like 5.3 gallons, but it's all real low slung, just like the rally bikes. But you get on it and it feels a lot heavier than the 690, but it does carry the weight lower, so it just feels like a bigger bike. It's got bigger tires, so there's more friction in the steering. You got all the big column and everything on the front, the seats wider, everything just feels more massive. So I have not really ridden it off-road very much. I've just taken it kind of down some fire roads and dirt roads, and so far extremely off-road capable. I don't think that it's going to be quite as friendly in like single track stuff as the 690, of course. Not that I really do much of that anyway. It's mostly just kind of double track, but it is very capable. It's got in the computer, it's got the angle traction control. I'm not going to turn all that on. That's a whole nother video. You guys can watch other videos about that. It's got off-road mode. It's got rally mode. You do have to buy the tech pack for that. I don't know if I had a bitch. That's going to be my first bitch, is that you've got to buy a tech pack for it. But they got software developers they got to pay. Got to keep the price down, competitive. And this is the ultimate adventure bike on the market, period. Doesn't really matter what anybody says. This is the most aggressive, most if you're a motocross guy formerly and you want an adventure bike, this is the one. That doesn't mean that any of the other are bad or not good in their own ways, in different ways, but this is the most aggressive and off-road capable of them all. Going to my gripes. First thing first, this front brake, in my opinion, is too powerful. It really is. Probably the S model where you're on the street and you got street tires on it and stuff. It doesn't have a lot of feel. They're not Brembos. Now that said, I like dirt bike stuff. I like a lot of feel in my lever. This does not have that, but the ABS on this thing is stellar. Absolutely stellar. Basically, I think the night I got it, I was in the rain. It was bright lights everywhere, coming around the corner. Our roads are really slippery here. They got oil and all kinds of crap all over them. I came around the corner and I was like, oh boy, we're going full binders here to stop for this traffic light. Came to a not screeching stop, and I just laid my hand into that brake. It was impressive. So while the lever does not have a lot of feel and you don't really have a lot of decent adjustment in this deal right here, it does feel like a lot of street bike brakes, but it has a cheapier feel than a typical KTM brake. It feels more like a Japanese bike. And if you guys are aware, I am not a Japanese bike fan for the most part. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I've been in the motorcycle industry way too long. I've ridden way too many motorcycles, and I'm just not. I'm sorry. Say all the hate you want about KTM. They're superior, period. I don't give a crap what anybody says. They're way better. I spend my own money on these things. I don't get them for free or anything. I spend a lot of money on this thing, and that's my choice. Not that there's not a lot of other great ones out there. I'd consider, whatever, basically anything from Europe, I will consider. I know that they've all got their little quirks, but so do the Japanese, and there's a lot of just Japanese fanboys, Hondas and fanboys and stuff out there, and that stuff, it's just not the same. I'm sorry, it's not, period. You won't ever convince me otherwise. I've ridden too many motorcycles. Anyway, that's my first bitch, is the front brake. Not a lot of feel. They do make a kit where you can eliminate it. You can do one brake rotor, and I'm not going to do that. I'm getting used to it. This is my primary rider, so I'm getting used to it, and it just is what it is. My second bitch is the friction zone on the clutch. You can see how much play I have in that thing right now. It's because when I shift, you don't have to use very much of the clutch to shift. The friction zone is extremely small, and I do not like that. So I have ordered the Camel ADV. I was going to order the Van de Shea one, but the Camel ADV one, we're having issues. We always have issues with shipping here. So the Camel ADV one was easier for me to get. So I'm ordering the Camel ADV longer arm. And so that's supposed to give you a lot more friction zone. So when you're off-road, you could have more friction zone. It also keeps it just less light switchy when you're on the road. So I don't really have any problems with the pull. It's fine. It feels like a cable clutch, but it's fine. I love hydraulic, but it is what it is. I don't care. Thought I was gonna hate it more. But so I got one of those. I don't have it yet. It's supposed to help. Down here, I removed the chain guide. The stupid thing is for the government. It's not for me. And I don't know if KTM forgot to put a bolt in it, but I had to put my own bolt and top hat washer underneath the chain there, because this was loose when I took the chain guide off. And I imagine the chain guide was holding all that stuff in place, but it was loose or fell out or something in the first few miles, but I didn't have very many miles on it before I took that off. You can see mine still got the catalytic converter. That may or may not be going away here this week. Here's the other really cool thing. This preload is super easy to adjust, and so I had my girlfriend on the back when we first got it. It was really stiff, and softened that up, and it took a lot of that road feel away. While I'm down here, you can see my Rottweiler trans saver. I'm all about saving the trans, so we put a sticker on our bike there in support of Pride Summer. So we got a trans saver, and what that does is when you jam down really hard, it has basically a shock absorber, so you're not jamming into the gears and the shift forks and stuff. Doesn't matter on the upshifts or anything. The quick shifter on this thing is pretty much amazing. It's a lot better up than it is down. Sometimes up, you almost don't even feel the shifts, as long as you're like at a, not a crazy high RPM. My other bitch, and I've ordered a tip for it already, is you've seen in my 690 videos, I switched out to a 450 shifter, or the dirt bike shifter. This one has the same rubber tipped old style that KTM's came with before 2017. I have ordered a replacement tip, a dirt bike tip for it, because these things just don't shift very well. I'm sorry, they don't. I wish it was the mud-free design. They don't make a mud-free design one for this like you find on the new dirt bikes, but I did get the old style, and that should be perfectly sufficient. I don't care which adventure bike you buy, or if you buy a 690, put the adventure pegs on there from somebody. I don't care who they are. These are the factory KTM ones. I put them on there straight away. You can see in the little clip when this video started, I had the stock ones on there. They got the stupid rubber stuff on there. Just take them off. Just get rid of them. Just bite the bullet. This is something that you buy for this. You can't get your foot placement. If you're a hardcore rider, you can't get your foot placement correct on this bike unless you have the rally pegs on it. It just is what it is. They're too small with the width of the bike and the angle of your legs, unless you're John Wayne or something, have just crooked legs. You need the extra foot peg to be able to get in there on the balls of your feet and lock into the bike better. So get the rally pegs. My next bitch, and this is because most of you guys on the market demand it, the stock seat. It sucks. It's for people that think they need to touch the ground. And yes, I'm taller, so maybe I don't understand, and that's true. I get it. They're vertically challenged and stuff, and it's scary when you got a big heavy bike like this. But I order the rally seat, and it fills this gap in right here, narrows it up a little bit. Especially for my frame, this cockpit is a little bit small, and it's only small because it's dipped down. My leg angle's too steep, and so once I get the rally seat on there, it will be a lot like the 690. And I have the stock seat on the 690, and I don't hate it. I find it far more comfortable than this. People think it's uncomfortable. Whatever. I've done 1,200 miles in a weekend on it. Get off your office chair and get a new ass or something. But this thing, it just puts my hips into a rotated position. I'm not into the saddle. I do not like pockets in dirt bike seats. That's why another reason why I don't like a lot of like Japanese bikes is in the older ones, because most of them are real flat now, like KTM's. But I don't like seat pockets, and so the rally seat flattens it out. Got the rally seat. For now, the exhaust is going to stay stock. The cat will probably be freed up a little bit, and it'll be free flowing a little bit more. And I think that's probably all I'll do with it. I never changed it on the 690. I just did the intake, and it ran good. And it's a fire breathing dragon. And this is a nice can. It doesn't get overly hot like the 690 one does. It's just the stock, KTM can, like kind of like for a 450, but it's bigger. The other thing I'll show you is I flipped over the brake pedal tip, and if you don't know, you can flip these over so it's lower, higher. I run my brake lever just slightly higher than my foot peg because I ride on the balls of my feet, and I go back and forth, and the brake lever is far too low stock. It's just too damn low. You can't hit it, especially if you're gonna do, trying to do any kind of wheelie stuff or whatever. You have to have access to that brake so you don't go over backwards, especially on a high horsepower rig like this. Flip the brake pedal over. I did raise the shift lever too, and with the Rottweiler you can't do it with the linkage. You have to do it up here, so you pull this off, rotate it, it'll click or whatever, and it lifts it up and down. So you I guess you go down with it to make it go up. So I did that. The clickers on the suspension seem to work pretty good. I pretty much got them backed almost all the way out. Gives it a little softer feel. It dips in a little bit. I'm not a super heavy guy. I'm 180 pounds, and with no gear on this thing and stuff. I ride aggressive off-road, but I'm pretty fluid, so I'm not really slamming into things super hard. It does have the preload adjuster caps on there. They work good. You go up 3 on the preload, you can feel that it won't settle into the corners the same. It'll stand up a little bit more, kind of like the 690. A lot of people don't like these Mitas tires. Where I'm at, they seem to work pretty good. They're actually quite smooth on the road. I was a little bit surprised how smooth they are, and they seem to hook up okay. You can see them got a little bit of chewing in them. The front one, it's You can feel the knobs a little bit back and forth, shimmy a little bit at real low speeds, but suspension seems to work pretty good. This is a 2024 model. 2025s, I think, got some suspension changes, but I'm not going to get too crazy on this because I got my 456 days. But it feels pretty good. I kind of had it off the ground a little bit already. I got the polymer skid plate for it that I haven't mounted yet. Got the Moose one. AXP, I think, makes it for them. Anyway, I can get a good deal on the Moose stuff, so I got the Moose one. They're $300 or something like that, so I got one of those. I haven't mounted it yet, but I got the Camel headlight brace. I put my Cycras on there from my 690. So these are the Cycra CRMs, and I'm gonna replace the bolts in them because they're kind of rusty, but they get on there. They're a lot burlier than the stock ones, so you can take some hits on these big bikes. They save you when you skip across the ground and stuff. They save you potentially from, you know, number one, breaking throttle tubes, but also bending your handlebars and stuff. Believe it or not, the full forward position on this is actually a little bit too far for me. You can see it comes with these awesome custom earplug holders right here. And so I put my earplugs in there perfectly. I'm going to rotate them one position back. I don't know if I'm going to go to the second hole or not, but yeah, I don't need them all the way forward. Cockpit isn't that cramped, but this position standing is stellar. It's almost more comfortable than like my 450 or something. It's extremely comfortable. I feel really comfortable and confident off-road on this. When you're going pretty fast, when you start hitting bigger rocks with the front tire, like if they're on their own, not like if there's a bunch of rocks, but if you're just hitting like one rock on its own and it spits you around, it can pucker your sphincter a little bit. The headlight works pretty well. I need to lower it down a little bit. The windshield is not tall enough for me. 6 feet tall, got my helmet, and I got an Adventure helmet with a visor on it, right? The windshield needs about this high because it hits you basically right in the forehead, and it is loud as hell. And honestly, everybody complains about it, and pretty much everybody complains about adventure bikes in general, about how they basically hit you in the face. So the windshield needs to be probably about this tall. So instead of doing that, I'm gonna ride it without the windshield and see where the wind hits me. And I may just put the fly screen on there, where it just covers just barely, and get rid of the windscreen altogether, because I actually don't mind the wind in my face if it's just the wind. I just don't want it buffeting into my face. If you're like maybe 5'9" or something, then it probably works good, and this seat will probably work good if you're 5'9" also, but it does not work to me. I need to sit right about here, and I do not want to be in that pocket. It just hurts my back. And riding two up, it's too cramped of a position for me. I don't know if I'm going to put racks on it or not. I did order the bigger rack thing for the back, and I'll have a box on it at least part of the time, because I'll be using this to get back in shape again. And I go out and I run, and I keep my extra clothes in there, and then I go to work in the morning and have my extra clothes and stuff in there. In closing here, it's not a direct replacement for the 690. It is its own thing. So if you're on the fence about which one to get, this is a really more street capable bike. It's quite a bit more comfortable. I don't want to say it's faster. The seat of the pants, it does not feel faster. The 690 feels a little torquier off bottom. This seems to I don't know, it doesn't really have any more revs, but it seems to like to rev a little smoother after 5K, and it doesn't quite grunt off the bottom, especially stock. Here's another gripe for you. Stock, these things are so freaking choked off with the emissions BS that it can't breathe. It may or may not have some different intake stuff in it, but get the at least the twin air foam filter replacement thing down here and get it opened up a little bit, because it's almost surgy. It's running so choked off on the bottom. It's got these tiny little snorkels that are this big that it's trying to breathe through, and it's an absolute freaking joke. It's not KTM's fault. I could bitch all day to KTM about KTM doing that, but it's not their fault. It's all dual sport street legal motorcycle things. They just completely suck ass off the factory because some ding dong government official that flies around in a private jet and drives around limousines and crap needs to tell us how to manage our motorcycles that get 55 miles to the gallon. That said, I'm averaging 53 miles per gallon in this thing on most of my just nice, easy, pleasant riding that I've done while breaking it in, and it is broken in. I've got 950 miles on it now. It's come out of the demo mode and all that stuff. Now that we're nice broken in, got the first service oil change done on it. Oil changes are $100 on these things. We are going to start putting her through the paces a little bit, and hopefully I can get some of that on the channel for you. But yeah, great bike. Not a replacement, direct replacement for the 690. The 690 does things better. It feels much, much lighter than this. That said, in motion, this isn't any like less capable. I don't even know that you'd have to slow it down. I think it just depends on the terrain that you're on. You're on some high-speed fire road stuff. This probably handles a lot better. It feels like the center of mass is lower, but 690 when you maybe are like hill climbing and things like that, it's gonna feel a lot better and a lot nicer. Gravel roads or something, that's gonna be far superior, I have no doubt. That's pretty much my rundown. My gripes, it's choked off. You have to pay for the computer system. Front brake's a little bit too powerful, but it does work excellent. It doesn't have a lot of feel. That's really about it, guys. It's a pretty bad machine. Stay tuned to the channel, subscribe and like or whatever if you aren't, and we're gonna probably get you some decent video of this thing off-road, and you know, some drone footage of some beautiful mountains and stuff like that. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys as always, and like I said, like and subscribe. Catch you in the next video. Take her easy.